Welcome back, once again adventurers, to Let's Play Robotics Notes Elite. In the last episode, everyone else at the Robotics Club were busy testing Gunbuild 2 over at the old airport. They did so without Kaito or any supervision from Nai or anyone from JAXA. Not even Fujita was there to look out for them. It was just Akio, Juna, Rao, and Subaru. Not to mention the fact that the weather conditions were definitely unsuitable for testing Gunbuild 2. The winds were incredibly strong. And that unfortunately proved to be very detrimental. Because while Juna noticed a mechanical fault with Gunbuild 2 as she was testing it, the worst possible scenario occurred when she got distracted, and in that moment, Gunbuild 2 fell on top of Subaru the same way that Yoshiro-kun had fallen upon her roughly 9 years ago. Yeah, things are looking grim. But meanwhile, Kaito Yashio was staring down Mizuka Ire, who was intent on stopping him from fulfilling Kou Kimijima's final request. The sound of waves faintly resounds faintly from below the cliffs, and while this stare down is going on, allow me to check out the Twippo notifications for a brief moment. Akio replying to Kaito's previous tweet. I compliment June a lot. You'd know if you were here. She's very upset. The wind is strong today. Yeah, probably not. Yeah, it's too late. It's already happened. Eskun, June, and Fraubo changed. Everyone showed up for testing. We are united. Kai, you are the only one who hasn't changed. I think you'll find that Kaito has changed a lot, Akio, but then again, since he's not there, you can't tell. It's cold. I want to go home. I want to cough out blood from all the excitement about Tanigashima x Yakushima. Of course, everyone right now is panicking, or will be panicking, over what just happened with Subaru. And Michi's actually worried about Mizuka, as he should be, but then where did Ire go? She's not even calling back. I can't pick up the proteins that I ordered with an IOU. Once again, Michi has his priorities. Nothing in the news and nothing in List D. But now that Twippo is out of the way, we have some unfinished business. There's nobody else here, just Kaito. Yeah, the only living people around here are me and Mizuka-san. We're glaring at each other for different reasons, for opposite reasons. Mizuka-san knows something, and yet she is choosing to avoid it. The mere minute conversation of ours confirmed it all. I know you were looking out for Misaki and her feelings by not prying into her business. But by leaving that opportunity to delve further, you've led us down this path. Somewhat. Mizuka-san said it's a curse. She caught me completely off guard saying that. I try to calm my heart rate, brace myself to run away at a moment's notice and try making a smile. She's not buying it, Kaito, and no amount of passion fruit hell is going to save you from this.
呪いってずいぶん非科学的なことを言い出すんだね。
That being said, that is a very Kaito response there.
水香さんにオカルトの趣味があったなんて初耳だよ。
茶化してんじゃないよ。こっちはマジで言ってんだ。
So are we, Mizuka. So are we. Whoa, scary. You need to stop being intimidated by things, Kaito. Seriously. My armpits are already starting to sweat. I'm even more nervous than I thought. Yeah, Mizuka and Misaki definitely have your number. Feels like I'm a rabbit getting stared down by a fox. As far as I'm concerned, there are two older women in this world that I never want to make my enemy. I don't think you can help that, Kaito. Not at all. Mizune and Mizuka-san. I don't stand a chance against them. Oh, you're going to have to overcome those obstacles anyway. Or else you'll never be the best at Kill Ballad in the world. I have no idea what she's thinking, even though you should. I'm incredibly confused. We go way back, and yet I've never seen her make that face before. The past has to come to light. But if I shut up and do as she says, nothing gets solved. I will never know the truth. I can't back down from this, nor should you, Kaito. Nor should you. Now that we're facing each other, I just gotta go for it.
水香さんが君島レポートの1を持ってったのは知ってる。
Probably should have kept it with us. Yeah. Enough of the pretense.
聞かせてほしいんだけど、水香さんは俺の味方なわけ？それとも。
It's definitely more likely that you're trying to protect Kaito and everyone else, but this isn't the way to do it. Your solution is no solution at all. Mizuka-san lets out a troubled sigh.
知りたくないことまで知らされるかもしれないんだよ。
And yet that something is probably something we need to learn. What's she talking about? Well, if it looks like your short-term and long-term memory is kind of faulty there, Kaito. You've read the Kimijima reports.
あんた一人の問題じゃないんだ。
Indeed it isn't.
10年以上ひた隠しにしてきたことが明るみに出ちまうかもしれない。
Precisely the reason why Kou Kimijima forged the reports to begin with, Mizuka.
隠し事があるんだね、水香さんには。
That she is.
しかもそれは俺や世間に知られちゃまずいことに聞こえる。
ああ、そうだよ。
Well, there we have it. Mizuka-san doesn't hesitate and speaks clearly.
あんたやアキみたいに純朴に生きられたらどれだけ良かったことか。
If only.
この世界はあんたらが思ってる以上に醜くて汚い。
Yes, we've been learning a lot about that over these past 6 months.
それでもさ、そんな中で一生懸命生きている人間がいるんだ。
Yeah, if only there wasn't a certain organization out there dedicated to making those lives miserable.
わかりな、カイ。
More than you realize, Mizuka Ire. More than you realize.
手を引くんだ。
If we do Mizuka, they win, and it's game over. Not happening.
水香さん、さっきから抽象的なことしか言ってないよ。
You're just trying to preserve that which has already been broken.
それじゃ俺は納得できない。世界規模の大虐殺が起きるかもしれないってのにさ。それと天秤にかけてあえて手を引かせられるほどのカードを持ってるなら、ちゃんと提示してくれないと。
Kaito's laid down his chips. I swallow back my breath. Phew, I was really forcing myself to play tough just now. Did it work? Your move, Mizuka-san. Call or raise? Quite frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if she whipped out a gun and shot me in the forehead right now. That's how intense her aura feels to me. But I have a feeling that's not how this will play out. Then again... Say something, Mizuka-san. I can't endure the silence. Nothing in KB prepared me for this kind of tension. Yeah, surprising that.
水香さんってもしかして300人委員会か旅ストック研究所の人？
Laying down all our chips now, and our hand. It looks like she didn't understand my question. She looks confused. Either she is playing us right now, or perhaps she's, well, given the fact that she's only required report number 1, she doesn't have the full story. She doesn't appear to be acting.
俺を殺しに来たんじゃないわけ。
カイオ？私が？何バカなこと言ってんだい。
Be that as it may. Yeah. We can't trust anyone. Well.
あんたは宝探しのつもりかもしれないけど。
Not at all. The whole fun treasure hunt thing went out the window with all the flag prerequisites, Mizuka.
それによって古傷をえぐられる人間もいるって話さ。
They need to be opened. They have to be.
さっきからそう言ってんだろ？
There's more to this than Misaki's pain and trauma, Mizuka. Much more. Our conversation isn't lining up. Yeah, that's because she hasn't gone down the rabbit hole like you have, Kaito. Or rather, we have, I should say. We're further along the path than she is. She has no idea, because she did not ask the questions. She turned her head away at a very crucial moment. Listening to her, it sounds like
誰かをかばってるみたいに聞こえるけど。
good inference there. That's exactly what this is about. She might be wary of Kou Kimijima and Irie, but Mizuka Ire clearly has no idea of the real danger that lurks at the heart of this matter. I get the feeling the wounds she's talking about aren't her own.
誰をかばってるわけ？
Isn't it obvious, Kaito? There's only one person in the entire world whom Mizuka Ire would ever dare to protect.
それをあんたには教えたくないから、こうして止めてるんだろ。
Well, I think that answer is going to eventually have to reveal itself sooner or later.
つまり 俺も知ってる誰かってことになるね。俺と水香さん、共通の知り合いとなると随分絞られてくるけど。
Very much so. Mizuka-san clicks her tongue in response. Quite the negotiator you are, Kaito.
カイ、これ以上はあんたと話したくない。いいから言うこと聞きな。
Very well then.
それは俺に対しての頼み。言うこと聞かせたいなら、まず俺と勝負して勝つことだね。
Kaito laying down the law as usual. My attempt at challenging her also serves as a means with which to push myself forward. Don't get scared. If you back down, it's over. And one of the people who taught Kaito that lesson was none other than yourself, Mizuka.
もちろん勝負の内容はキルバラ。俺の土俵に上がってきてもらう。それとも例のゲロマズパッションフルーツマンを1個食べれば水香さんの持ってる情報を洗いざらい話してくれるわけ？
Kaito definitely going for broke here.
いい加減にしな。ガキの遊びじゃないんだよ。
Hate to break it to you, Mizuka, but we're already aware of that truth.
それはこっちも同じだ。
I falter a bit from the immense pressure coming off of Mizuka-san as I frantically respond to her words.
水香さんが全部話してくれるならそっちの要求に乗ってもいいけどさ。
But we can't let it go, Kaito. Not only would we be denying Kou's final wish, we'd be betraying the memory of him, Frau's mother, and all the victims of the Committee of 300. Everything that we went through and beyond would be for nothing.
だからカイには話したくないって。
Then we'll just have to get the answer from someone else. The one person who lies at the very heart of this. The one person you're trying to protect.
Huh?
And at the worst possible timing. A melody we've heard before, back at the community center. Unexpectedly, far too suddenly, a melody begins to play out in the tranquil little park. The sound quality is very low.
何さこの音。
Bad is what this is. Very, utterly bad. Kagome Kagome.
Kagome Kagome.
Indeed, god damn it. I remember. It's playing from both of our Pokecoms. Yeah. We had one chance to distribute the Kimijima reports around the world to prevent this from happening, Mizuka. Pray we get another chance, or we're screwed. It's happening again. And this time, unlike what happened in the basement of the community center, we're going to have a bad time. Yeah, this isn't the first time we've heard this. An indiscriminate transmission. Forcibly sent to everyone's Pokecoms in a specific area. And regardless of your ringtone settings, it always plays the Kagome Kagome melody upon arrival. If you answer the call, you're greeted with a fax-like transmission sound in a strangely high frequency. The Kimijima reports warned of this Kagome Kagome melody, but nowhere was it written who was sending it, nor the intentions of the sender. Is this Mizuka-san's doing? Well, given the expression and body language, I would say no, Kaito, it isn't. She just looks just as confused as I am. That's because she is. She has no idea. Her desire to protect her best friend has dire ramifications. She takes out a Pokecom and looks at the monitor like she's seen a ghost.
誰からの電話かわかる?
Your reaction is very telling there, Mizuka. I shake my head. Kaito doesn't know, but I think I have a hunch. I have a hunch. And if I'm right, Mizuka Ire, it means your efforts to protect a certain someone have been absolutely for nothing. And you shouldn't have stood in Kaito's way. If Mizuka-san doesn't know, was it sheer coincidence that it rang at this time? It's too precise for a coincidence. Far too precise.
ゲジネ
I call out to Sister Centipede.
はい、ヤシオさん。
Yeah, we need to know, and we need to know fast.
このカゴメカゴメの発信先を特定できない
Yeah, we need to know.
不可能です。
Of course.
ゲジネの能力は通信傍受ではなく、特定のキーワードを検索して、無差別にそれに関連する情報を収集することであり。
And even if we had Ivory with us, she'd probably be in the same boat. Damn it, useless. Too late to bitch about it now. Call from hidden. I give up on trying to go through Sister Centipede, just as I'm thinking of what to do next.
誰?
Mizuka is answering. Mizuka-san answers the call. A painful noise comes out of her Pokecom. Shouldn't have answered. It's that transmission, not a person. Despite standing a ways away, it's loud enough for me to hear clearly. I wouldn't put that to your ear. I would take that away as far as possible. But then again, it's too little, too late.
この音は
Don't let it into your brain, Mizuka.
水香さん電話切って
It's so unpleasant that I instantly cover my ears with both hands. She cuts the call and the sound stops. I would like to say that our problems are over, Kaito. But I think our problems have gotten worse. Silence returns to the area. Feeling relieved, I sit down on the nearby bench and catch my breath.
何だったんだ
What indeed? Ignoring me, Mizuka-san turns away and starts walking slowly but awkwardly. This is a problem. This is a problem. The park at Cape Karakura is on top of a cliff. There's waist-height fencing, and beyond that is the cliff. I think we should do something, Kaito. Right now. She's heading toward the fencing. Don't tell me she's trying to run. No, Kaito. She's not simply running away.
水香さんまだこっちの話は終わってないんだけど
Mizuka-san doesn't even attempt to answer me. We have issues. We need to deal with them now, Kaito. For some reason, she's hitting her HUG and twisting her waist around, yet she keeps walking toward the fencing. The HUG is malfunctioning. Where have we seen this before? Yeah, we know about this problem. When Exoskeleton had that big scandal from before. Yeah, that was no accident. I'm pretty sure that Kagome Kagome was playing at that time, which means they were testing to make sure that their plans would be in motion. And speaking of which, we need to do something about Mizuka's HUG, Kaito.
聞いてる?
Oh, she's listening, alright.
なんだこれ
Yeah. Part of me thought that white noise transmission was some sort of brainwashing facility, but I was wrong. It doesn't affect people, it affects the machines.
なんで急に
Kaito, get off your ass and help, please. She's acting strange. She's not the one who's strange, Kaito.
カイ悪いけどさ手貸してくんない
Yeah, as in right now.
なんかこいつ具合が悪いみたいなんで
Yeah. I immediately recognized what she's referring to. Took you long enough. Then I realize Mizuka-san's forehead is covered in sweat. She's smiling, but her face is incredibly strained. Like she's doing her best to put on a brave face. She looked so calm and collected before.
どうしたんだよ?
Isn't it obvious, Kaito?
止まらない?
You've read the Kimijima reports, Kaito. You know that exoskeleton is one of the names. I don't immediately understand what she's saying. Have you forgotten? Of course, with all the milieu of information on the internet and all the events that have been going on, I probably shouldn't be surprised that you've forgotten that Exoskeleton has a big corporate scandal on hand.
もしかして俺を担いでる?
Not her, Kaito. I'm telling you this. If you don't tackle her to the ground right now, we're going to lose Mizuka-san. The fencing doesn't cover the entire cliff. In fact, there are gaps all over. If she keeps going, she's going to walk through one of those gaps and take a dive right off the cliff. Yeah, imagine that. I don't think this is a joke. It isn't, Kaito. Not at all. Mizuka-san suddenly bends her waist and plants her hands down like she's walking on all fours. I can hardly believe what I'm seeing. Despite planting her hands firmly on the ground, her legs keep moving forward.
なんだよこれ
She pitches forward to the point where she could fall over, yet she still doesn't stop moving. It's like her legs have a mind of their own. Kaito, her legs. Use your brain cell, that one tiny little brain cell of yours.
Mizuka-san, 捕まって!
Yes, finally. Took you long enough. I finally snap to my senses, run over to her and grab her arms. Mizuka-san grabs onto my body.
Kai, 離すなよ
Yeah, hate to break it to you, Mizuka, but the situation is far worse than you ever imagined. She's pulling on me with an absurd amount of force, but that isn't going to stop the HUG anytime soon. I try to brace my legs, but I'm still getting dragged along.
まさか暴走?
No, it's not, it hasn't gone berserk. This is intentional. committee of 300 want to kill everyone, and Mizuka Ire is no exception. She's just a casualty. That's right. HUG's going berserk. It was a hot topic last year. Mizune and her superiors held media conferences and everything. People who were wearing rampaging HUGs often looked like they were dancing, leading it to be dubbed the HUG dance by people online. According to a witness testimony, it was almost like the HUG was deliberately rebelling against its master. But here's the thing, those exoskeletons do not have cognitive abilities. They have no minds of their own. The person being dragged along looked like a dancing puppet. The same thing's happening here.
ハグの電源切って。
やってるけどダメなんだよ。
The HUG has immense strength. Even the two of us together can't stop it. Despite its primary role being medical assistance, it's far stronger than any human. I have my feet firmly planted, yet I still can't stop it from taking step after step toward the cliff. In that case, there's only one option, Kaito. I judo sweep Mizuka-san's legs near her Achilles tendon and forcibly knock her down.
これなら大丈夫でしょう。
Let's just hope this works. I mean, her legs are still going to be moving, but Mizuka-san's soaked in sweat. Her breathing is incredibly heavy. She was likely using all of her strength to fight against a rampaging HUG. But she wouldn't have won that battle, not without your help. Thank you kindly. I have a feeling about that. Yeah, it was very suspicious that only exoskeleton Exco company technicians were allowed to interact with these devices. Yes, it was a matter of corporate security, but as we now know, there's far more to it than that. Mid-speech, Mizuka-san's body defies gravity and suddenly springs back up. God damn it. It didn't work. Despite being on top of her, the force is enough to send me flying. There's no way that just happened, and yet, against all sanity, it did. This is impossible. With only the strength of her legs, she flung me off, despite me weighing over 50 kilograms, and stood back upright. Sprung up is literally the only way to describe what just happened. Normally when you get up off the ground, you support your body with your hands, but that's not what she did. Mizuka-san has gone limp. Her body is bent backward in the shape of a bow. She's coughing up blood. This is bad. Very bad. Really, really bad. I hurry on to my feet and latch onto Mizuka-san. It's gonna take more. We're the only ones that's here. And Mizuka can't take much more of this. Mizuka-san's eyes are vacant. I was close to her when she stood up, and I heard what sounded like bones snapping. She may have broken her spine.
どうすれば緊急停止とかできないの？
I don't think they installed one, but had one installed in mine, Kaito. Mizuka-san's legs continue moving directly for the cliff. This is unreal. It's like some third-rate horror film from half a century ago. But worse. I can't believe this is actually happening. Or believe it. It's like the HUG is trying to kill Mizuka-san. And more importantly, the ones who made it do so. This thing isn't just on a rampage. It's out to kill. I can sense killing intent from this goddamn thing. And yet the HUG is just a device, Kaito. Don't blame it. Blame the ones who caused it to do this in the first place. Yeah, if not, there is no way it could move like this. If it understands the terrain and is intentionally trying to squeeze through a gap so it can drop her off the cliff. We're going to need a miracle here, Kaito. But what can I do? How can I save her from this? I lower my body and crouch all the way down to brace my legs, but I just get dragged along like it's nothing. Unfortunately, yeah, it is fixed to a frame. I tried attaching the HUG band, securing it to Mizuka-san's legs. I just have to get the buckles off. But Mizuka-san keeps moving, and I'm too panicked. I can't undo them. Oh dear. My left leg suddenly loses its power. We're already at the edge of the cliff. My left leg is hanging in midair. Mizuka-san is barely standing on the edge, with my right foot planted firmly behind her. If we don't do something soon, we're both going over. If she takes one more step, we're both gonna fall. I've said these words before and I'll say them again, not happening. Her voice weak, Mizuka-san says something unbelievable.
話せるわけないだろう。そんなことしたら死んじゃうじゃないか。
やろう。
She shoves her elbow in my face.
このままだとカイも道連れだろ。
Tell us something we don't know, Mizuka.
巻き込めるかよ。
We're already neck deep into this situation.
そうだ。ミサネに電話を。
Yeah, about that. Yeah. That's not the miracle I was looking for, Kaito.
これは罰なのかもね。
Don't put this on yourself, Mizuka.
何の話だよ。
結局さ、私は見て見ぬふりをすることしかできなかった。
Unfortunately, that's what you did. Noble as your intentions were, it has led to this. But still, it's not your fault. It's the machinations of the Committee of 300.
それが正しかったのかどうか今もわかんない。
Maybe not, but right here, right now, we're trying to save your life. She elbows me hard in the jaw. The impact makes my vision go white for a moment as all the strength leaves my body. Staggered, I'm given a firm thrust to the chest.
水か。
As I fall onto my back. I still try to reach out for her. But
なあ 知らないままでいる方がさ、幸せなこともあるだろう。
Some people believe that. You yourself most certainly did. But to that I say this. The only good is knowledge, and the only evil is ignorance. My hand doesn't reach her.
だから私が見たことは墓場まで持っていく。
Morbid as this sounds, I guess that means we're going to have to pry the answer from Misaki's lips, not yours.
これが私なりの友情なのかもね。
A friendship that went unrequited. Misaki Tsunomiya, Mizuka's blood is on your hands. You have a lot to answer for and a lot to pay for. Mizuka-san is smiling, and it's terrible. The edges of her mouth are stained red with blood, and with the cliff directly in front of her, she turns her head to look back at me. Despite the intense pain she's going through, she manages to force herself to smile.
もしミサに会うことがあったら、こいつをプレゼントしてくれてありがとうって伝えといて。
I'm sure she'll be thrilled. It makes no sense. This is too much.
こいつのおかげで私はさ。
As Mizuka-san smiles, one leg is already taking a step up forward off of the cliff.
この2年事故前とほとんど変わらない生活送れたから。
A normal life that was destined to be crushed by the twisted ambitions of the Committee of 300. Despite not wanting to die, she takes a step forward toward her death.
だからさ。
She steps into the empty air.
ありがとうって。
Indeed we will. And by that I mean thank you for nothing. And then Mizuka-san's body disappears from my line of sight. Oh, it is, Kaito. It's very real.
なんで。
We already have the answers to those questions.
ああ、水川さん。
Right now we need the answers. We need the answers that we haven't gotten yet. And I know I should be letting Kaito grieve over this moment. But I've been through this way too many times.
水川さん。
I call out to her, but there's no reply. Panicked, I crawl out to the edge of the cliff and look down. I'm met with the image of Mizuka-san lying face down on the rocks below. She's dead. Mizuka-san is dead. Mizuka Ire is indeed dead, Jim. Despite the despair overwhelming me, I whip out my Pokecom and call for an ambulance.
君島レポートナンバー7のダウンロードが完了しました。
What perfect timing, Sister Centipede. How can she act like nothing just happened? Because she's Sister Centipede, not Irie. I pray as I call for an ambulance. Then I think you know what you need to do, Kaito. The Committee of 300 have already forced the situation. There is nothing that should be standing in the way between the world and the Kimijima reports. Quick, please come quick. Please someone, save Mizuka-san. My heart feels like it's being squeezed tightly. Like someone's crushing it with their bare hands. Like I'm about to have an attack. After what happened, why wouldn't it? It goes without saying why. I bite my lip. Then wait for the call to connect. Just hold on, Kaito. Just hold it off just a little bit longer. The worst possible outcome. I'm riding along with Mizuka-san and the ambulance. How many times have I wished myself that this wasn't real? Far too many. Inside of this cramped ambulance, no matter where I try to look, I see the emergency responders doing their work. Mizuka-san hit her head hard, and there's blood gushing out of her forehead. Even if she did survive, she's going to have severe concussion, possibly brain damage. The HUG has been removed, but her legs are bent in unnatural directions, and her spine could quite well be even more broken than it already is. The emergency responders keep calling out to her, but she barely responds. I ended up having an attack, so my body was too numb to even cry out, yet everything still hurt. By the time we reach the hospital, the sun is long gone. The responders quickly take her out of the vehicle and head to the ER ward with some nurses. I'm left all alone. And alone is where I'm going to end this episode of Let's Play Robotics Notes Elite. So when we return, adventurers, we have this to deal with. As always, until next we meet.